war on Christmas, Pastor. I don't think so. There is. Christians everywhere are being persecuted for simply saying Merry Christmas. When you say persecuted, do you mean arrested by the state? No. Beaten by angry mobs? No. Fired from their jobs? There was that one woman in Florida. That was back in 2008, and the company president literally said, "We are a Christian company and we celebrate Christmas." I suspect there's some other conflict going on. Maybe. So when you say persecution, what do you mean? Well, we can't say Merry Christmas in schools anymore. Does this directly affect you, or are you just looking for something to be mad about? It does feel good to be mad. Believe it or not, I think we have some common ground here. Really? Yeah, I don't think an outright ban on public discussion of religion is a good idea. If we want to live in a pluralistic society, we have to recognize a variety of religious traditions. So you're saying all those dang teachers have to say Merry Christmas? No, I think that teachers should be very conscious about the position of power that they have over students. If I was a teacher, I probably would never wish my students a Merry Christmas unless I included it with a list of everything else that people were celebrating. How would the teacher even know what people are celebrating? They could ask the students if they're comfortable sharing. Oh, that makes sense. Pluralism has to be rooted in respect, otherwise it's just a nicer name for Christian nationalism. What's wrong with Christian nationalism? Jesus did not come to rule over nations. He came so that we might live better lives with each other, so that we're freed from our sinful ways of harm and aggression. Jesus was not the person putting people on the cross. He was the one who died on the cross. Forcing Christianity on others betrays the values of Christianity. There's a big difference between evangelism and coercion.
I respect this pastor most of the time because he does make great points about how Christian nationalism is actually distorting the ideas of Christianity that some people actually believe in. Now, I don't think that most Christians are trying to rule over everyone, but most Christians do have the mentality that is synonymous with Christian nationalism. And that is the fact that they want everything in this nation, everything in society to be ruled under the banner of Christianity. So your little Baptist church, your big Baptist church, your Methodist church, your Pentecostal churches, your Catholic churches, your AME churches, all these churches are filled with people who would rather the only thing that is spoken in society is Christian oriented. They don't want Hanukkah in schools. They don't want Kwanzaa in schools. They don't want Saturnalia. They don't want any other holiday or December 25th to be other than Christianity. They don't want Passover, not the Jewish version during Easter. They just want Easter. They want their resurrection day. They don't want the bunny and the egg. They don't want those things. They want everything to just be Christian. And so they are offended. And so they align themselves unknowingly and knowingly with Christian nationalism. And one of the reasons why is because the pastor made a mistake. He said that Jesus did not come to rule over nations, but yet in Revelations, it says that this Jesus, when he comes down, that he will rule over all the nations, that for 1,000 years, he will set up his kingdom on earth and rule every nation based on that. In the apocalyptic ideas of Judaism, in Judaism, when their version of the Messiah comes, because they're still waiting on their Messiah, that Messiah will fight a war against other nations and he will set up a kingdom and rule over every nation on the planet. So it is in the doctrine that this Messiah, whether you believe in Jesus or the one that's supposed to come, is supposed to rule all the nations, and all the nations will be under the foot of Christianity, because it is a foot. It is a foot on your neck. It is a foot on the neck of any other religion. Christianity is not interested in pluralism. It is not interested in being a theosophic religion where they accept everyone else's religion. They are not in any form of fashion pantheistic, not even a little bit. Christians want to dominate. And these problems that we are having with Christians and every other religion is one, because we are not taught how to properly discuss these things. There are people who come on this page who claim to be Christians, but they are filled with the most vile responses. They make their assumptions. Oh, you never was a Christian. You don't know what I was. You don't know how I believed. You don't know how I felt. You don't know how the same experiences that you claim that you've had that validates your God, that I was having those experiences, and I validated God based on those experiences in the same way that you did. But through my study and through my understanding, I've started to recognize all the conflicts and all the contradictions and all the incorrect statements and the fact that it doesn't measure up to any part of history that Christianity is a false religion, man-made, created during the time frame of the 1st and 2nd and 3rd century, that Christianity is not true religion of the world, is not speaking of a true creator of the universe. It is a made-up one based on a made-up Judaic religion that was really created in order to formulate a history and a God for outcast people during the Bronze Age collapse. So no, I do not accept it. I grew out of it. I realized how false it was. But we can't have that discussion peacefully. No, you have to come into the comments and make your condescending, snide, and oftentimes rude comments because you was never taught how to have a decent conversation about religion and politics. That is the immaturity of our societies. And our societies have been that way for a long time. The foot of Christianity had its Inquisition where it ruled over other Christians and Jews and anybody who did not agree with them. Christianity put its foot on the necks of Africa, America, tried to do India, didn't work out as well, but then tried to do Japan and China, didn't work out as well, but then put their foot on the necks of all Europeans who thought differently from them as well. And what has that created in this world? Pain and suffering, death, starvation, disease. That is all that is the true hallmark of Christianity. Yeah, a lot of Christians try to think about how that doesn't happen today because we're not living under empires and monarchies. But with the aristocracy that we do live under, yeah, you're not going to get away with it. You're not going to be able to go and forcibly put a gun to someone's head and force them into your religion. But your religion wouldn't be as big as it is today without all the destruction that it created in order to get that way. Just like people say, America, such a great country. It's not like the Europeans came to America and said, we're going to peacefully establish this country. No, it stole land. It killed people. It murdered people. It passed along diseases. It had wars in order to be created. And then after the destruction and the death settled, then America became more of an aristocratic democracy. It is not, nor has it ever had a history, a foundation of peace and love and the equality. No, all men are created equal did not include my ancestors and didn't include not one woman. And half of the Caucasian European ancestry, it didn't include them either. So if the foundation, your Bible tells you that if your house is built on sand, then it will crumble. This is why every society eventually crumbles. This is also why every religion also crumbles. The Sumerian religion, gone. The Greek religion, gone. The Roman religion, gone. The Mesoamerican religions, gone. African religions, gone. All these religions of old, gone. New religions replaced them. Ifa replaced them. Santa Marita replaced them. I've said that name wrong. Christianity replaced them. Orthodox Christianity at that replaced them. Islam replaced them. The polytheistic Arab religions, gone. Replaced by a newer religion, a different religion. Some lasting longer. The Indus religion has lasted for a very long time, longer than Christianity, longer than Judaism. But before that, it was a different religion. They all eventually perished because they're all built on sand. None of them are built on rocks. The only thing that is continuous is the Hermetics, because you can't get rid of that one. And within each of these religions, you can find the Hermetic teachings, because all they did was steal from those and then add their own cultural biases. But sorry, sir, I'm not buying into the bullshit. Christians aren't trying to be pluralistic. They're just as dominating as they have ever been. But hey, who am I to say? Always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.